Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk. I'm your host, Saieed Ali, a spiritual consultant and real estate businessman. Remember, for those of you that are having spiritual problems, you can feel free to contact me. Those of you that have properties to sell or looking for property to buy, you can also contact me. Now, viewers, if you lend your friend and your family or your cousin your hard-earned cash and you cannot get it back, feel free to contact us. Now, it doesn't matter. Now, if a company owns your money and you have an agreement with them, you did some work for them, you have an agreement, and they're giving you the run around this month, next month, this month, next month, a year pass, 2 years pass, and they have money for you, feel free to get in touch with us. 339-1670 or 238-6716. Real Talk, that collection department, will be willingly and very helpful in getting back your hard-earned cash that your cousin, your neighbor, a company, once you have an agreement with them, feel free to contact us. So I want to say a special good night to you viewers of Real Talk in Trinidad and Tobago, of the Caribbean and around the globe. I want to thank you for tuning in with us on Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Remember, you can view us on the Real Talk with Saieed Ali page, like and share as we go live. Now, we keep you up to date with incidents that happen in Trinidad and out of Trinidad. So if you're on the go, and you can't get where there's a TV to listen, just log on to Real Talk with Saieed Ali on our page and you will get up-to-date news, videos, photos, events that is taking place in Trinidad and Tobago and around the world. So those of you on YouTube, subscribe to YouTube, TT Real Talk, hit the bell and you would know when we go live. So viewers, now remember, we have our drive on. We are raising funds to build the very first rape crisis center in Trinidad and Tobago that house individuals being a victim of rape. It is a rehabilitation center for those victims. It's a place where when the incident happened to you, you will seek the police help and advice. They will carry you to the doctor or the medical institute. You'll be examined. The doctor will say, well, if you were raped or not. And if you were raped, your husband, your wife, the mother, the father, the brother, when you go back to them, you can get your clothes, pack a bag, and come down to this center. You could spend a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. This is the service that we want to provide for you, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, whether it be male or female. And now keep in mind, it's something that you don't have to pay for. You don't have to pay for this service. What I'm asking you is just to contribute to this drive. We need to raise $10 million. Right? I have already provided the land. I have already provided the land to build the structure. What we need to raise $10 million in order to start the structure from foundation to finish. Prep it so that when it's open, individuals could come in. So this is what the Real Talk is all about now. We want to build a center, but we need your help. So now, viewers, I have asked you all, once you have contributed $1,500 and over, you will get a chance to win the beautiful Kia Cerato. It has rims, tires, is fully loaded, fully powered. That is one we are giving away. Number two, if you contribute between $1,000 to $1,500, you can win an all-inclusive trip for a tour to Tobago to spend the weekend with your loved ones. A getaway. We are giving this to you. And if you don't have the $1,500 and you don't have the $1,000 to make that contribution, we've made it easy for you. Now, on screen is a necklace. It's a black jet bead and gold, chain, handband, and earring. If you contribute $500 towards our drive, you could get a chance to win this. That is valued between $4,000 to $5,000 because of the size of it. Because of the size. So viewers, as you give unto us for this drive, we are giving back to you. We are giving back to you. So feel free to contribute. If you're up the island, in Canada, New York, anywhere you are, contact us, 1-868 339-1670 or 1-868-238-6716 and make a contribution. There's a bank account number that is available for who wants to transfer cash to the account number. Everything comes to us. If you're in a foreign land and you want a Western Union, the money to us is not a problem. We are asking every Tom, Dick and Harry to contribute because this center will be the very first of its kind in Trinidad and Tobago and up the Caribbean. So we need your help. I am putting things in place. Very soon we will have an animated 3D design of how the landscape would look to the back of the building. I spoke to some guys today. They're going to do an animated 3D design of how the building would look. I am spending from my pocket to bring it into reality, to show you what and how this foundation, this building, the landscaping would look. So hopefully by the end of next week, we're supposed to have these 2 videos in the lineup to show you what and how the building would look. But we need your help. We need your help. The lower class, the upper class, the middle class, the businessman, those from foreign countries, we need your help. Now this center that we are going to build, you can come in and stay free of charge. Free of charge. That maintenance will be on Real Talk. It will be on Saieed. What I need from you is a contribution to start the project. I've already provided the land. Pull up the land, guys. I have already provided the land. But I just need your help in raising the $10 million to build the structure. That is what we need. The land is in Palmas, the red dot there, that's the Palmas area in San Fernando. Zoom up on the land. That triangle box there is where the land is. Like I said, the land is there. The land is there. I have already done that for you. And you know, in Palmas in San Fernando, a lot of land is about 800,000, 700,000. So I have provided land there for you. It's half acre of land. 4 lot of land. 4 or 5 lot of land around there. So it is there. It is there. What we need is a contribution. That is what we need. So viewers, we are going to be talking about it later on in the show. So as we start off the show tonight, we're sticking with the domestic violence for a little time. Enforcing laws. Independent Senator Robert Amar said, the problem we are facing is the enforcement of the laws. He made this statement during a debate on the domestic violence bill in the Senate on Monday.
It is making sure that the laws that are ascribed to and documented in the law books, that the prescriptions for those laws are enforced with efficiency. How are these laws going to be implemented, and how is this parliament going to be held accountable, would mean to say that we must have some key performance indicators that must establish criteria for success or failure.
Senator Amar argued that it is important to tie in laws with data.
Law without measurable and consistent data remains just law. And for this country, we have had law. We have had data, but we have failed to marry data and law. And therefore, we continue as a recurring decimal, doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result.
So we have a caller on the line. Caller, good night.
Hi, good night.
Go right ahead.
Hi, I just want to find out something, right? I make an agreement with somebody, and I'll lend the person $5,000, and then make an agreement what's the payment back. And when it's time to get back my money now, because that's what I run around, right? I take it before the court, and well, how the COVID-19, the court is closed and everything get delayed, and I still haven't get back my money as well.
Call me tomorrow now, we can see what we could do for you.
What time tomorrow, please, God?
Anytime around 11, 12, and then tomorrow.
Okay, then.
Thank you, my friend. Yeah. So if you are staying on domestic violence, so now listen to this, you know, every time if you all have noticed, the viewers of Real Talk, local and regional, every time we start to press on a matter, it's some kind of legislation or some kind of laws or some amendment the House this come with. I don't know if all have been noticing that. So listen to this. For the first time in this country, an individual 16 years of age and over can apply for a protection order. So any individual over the age of 16 now can apply for a protection order. Communication Minister Donna Cox highlighted this during the debate on domestic violence bill in the upper house of Parliament on Monday.
Under the current legislation, the child is heavily dependent upon either an adult who resides in the same household or a parent or guardian to make an application on their behalf. The reality is that quite often such persons are not always inclined to be party to those applications to the court for several reasons. Sometimes it's out of fear of reprisal, loss of income, violence to themselves, and the cost of the litigation and other socioeconomic factors.
So now, viewers, since we have been pressing on domestic violence now, I want to say thanks to Donna Cox for bringing this. You see, when they do something good, I will congratulate you on national public. On my show, I will congratulate you. And when there's a pressing matter that you're not attending to, we will light you up at the same time. So it's a give and take. So listen to this, viewers. As I say, thank you to Donna Cox for bringing that. Now, this would help a lot of individuals, you know. This would help a lot of individuals. Now, it is up to those in authority now to grant it. So this is another part of the problem. Because sometimes, a male or a female will get onto the JP or visit the JP. And sometimes they just say, this is not enough evidence to grant a protection order. They does say that. Sometimes the court says that. And when they go home back, it starts all over again. Even worse than the first time. So, as long as you are 16 years and older, you can apply for a protection order. Now, the bill was passed in the House. It also allows persons in private residence to apply for a protection order for themselves.
And I am certain we know of stories of these homes that allegedly cater for the total well-being of the elderly, but in which our mothers and fathers are subjected daily to abuse that fits perfectly into the definition articulated by the WHO. And these amendments, as proposed, Mr. Vice President, take us one step closer to affording our elderly the possibility of protection from abuse in the winter of their years.
Minister Cox told the House that the COVID-19 pandemic has contributed to a significant increase in domestic violence in the country.
March 2020, there was 203 police reports of domestic violence, compared to March 2019, 42 reports. And according to Ms. Pollard, which is the manager of the Gender-Based Violence Unit of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, this was attributed to the social impact of COVID-19.
Now, during this stay-at-home policy, there were a lot of people who were out of jobs, and pressure was building, both on the husband, the wife, and the children, the grandparents also. Because when you're home, no income coming, the husband nagging, the wife nagging, the children nagging that they don't have this and they don't have that, it will build a pressure. And sometimes you reach a point where you can't take it and you snap. The wife beat the husband beat the wife, the children flare up. Sometimes families break up, the husband go his way, the wife go his way, Wife saying, well, you know, when it's COVID, the husband can't support me, so we out of the relationship. It goes vice versa. And a lot of this happened during the COVID-19. A lot of this happened. Because I was faced in many incidents with couples. Sometimes the wife come in, the girlfriend come in, the boyfriend, the husband, even the grandparents calling Saeed, we have an issue, separation, nobody not working. It happens. So feel free to call in, let me hear what you have to say, 238-6716. And if this incident did happen to you, let us know. Let us know. Because this is a serious thing. And Trinidad and Tobago is now starting back to develop the full workforce in Trinidad. And still there are restrictions. Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Saieed Ali. I'm calling in concerning with Tower Market. All the market in Trinidad and Tobago open. Tower Market is closed. Tower Market closing Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. It opening Thursday and closing back Sunday. I just want you to come or send your camera. How vendors throwing away goods when these days this market is not functioning.
Okay, thank you, my dear. We will look into it. Thank you for highlighting the matter. But the borrowing sound, what are they supposed to say about that? Listen to this. A 44-year-old man was arrested by officers of the Gender-Based Violence Unit following report of domestic violence in the Oropuch district yesterday. According to officials, police report at about 1:15 p.m. on Monday, 22nd June 2020, police officers responded to a report made by a housewife of Rosilac that she was allegedly assaulted by her husband. The victim contacted officers of the Oropuch police station and told them her husband had come home from work and became enraged during a conversation after which he reportedly dealt her several blows above her body, causing swelling and pains and discomfort. The victim's son, who intervened, also was allegedly dealt several blows to his face by the suspects. Police reports suggested that the wife told them she became fearful for her life as the suspect threatened to kill her. Wow. So, according to Robert Amar, we really need to tie in the data with the law and the law with the data. We really need TTPS now in divisions throughout Trinidad and Tobago whenever a protection order is granted, visit the family to see how they are doing. Now you notice like rape, for the last couple of weeks, every single day, sometimes every other day, I highlighting a matter of rape. Now since we started to highlight domestic violence and rape, it started all over the country. All over the country. So we are dealing with issues that is arising. And this is where social development comes in. They have a big hand in this. How many of you are silent about it? How many of you? Like I said, if the wife tells you leave the house, leave the house. Leave the house. If the husband tells the wife, leave the house, go by your mother, relax yourself, don't fight up. And we will sort it out after. But since we have been highlighting domestic violence and rape, these things have been happening on a daily basis throughout Trinidad and Tobago. Now, plenty men and plenty women will get vexed with Real Talk for highlighting it, but it is happening in your home. It is happening in your home. Now, I can tell you something. I know some individuals. Their wife take them to court. Protection order was granted for the wife. And you know the wife living in the husband's house still? Yes, it is a fact. I am telling you, both of them going to court. Protection order was granted for the wife. The wife come back home in the husband's house. And that's it. And that's it. Now that goes vice versa, both ways. So the guy is living now in the house with the wife, and there's a protection order hanging over his head. So if she decides to do anything now, if she decides to curse and rant and rave, he have to stay quiet. He have to stay quiet. Because why? She's back in the house. Back in the house. I am telling you, I know people who live like that. And it went on for a number of years. As the protection order was valid for a year, 2 years, and they lived. He did his thing, she did her thing, because of children in the midst. Well, sometimes, watch man, it isn't easy out there, you know, the kind of thing I just be facing with. If my wife tell me leave the house, I will leave the house. You want the house? Not a problem. Stay in the house. I said that last night, stay in the house. You want it? Not a problem. It's yours. I ain't fighting for it. Some of them might say, boy, Saeed, something wrong with Saeed. No, but if you want the house, take the house. Take the house. That's just me. I stopped fighting over material thing. I set a goal. And I am reaching that goal, thanks to God. So I always tell my wife that I just put God in front. And some of we individuals need to do that. So when they're fighting for house and land and car, you leave them to fight with it and you move on. You know why I'm saying that? Because plenty of us just feel that without the car we can't do nothing. Yes, you work hard, you take a loan, you build your house, you buy a car, you end up in court, you working hard, wife home. It goes on like that. It goes on like that. So house and land and car and thing, I stop fighting for them thing. Me though, I over that kind of thing. So listen to this now. We move into the roadmap team now. Feel free to call in, voice your concerns, 238-6716. The Tobago House of Assembly has commissioned a group of 17 Tobagonians who formed the Roadmap to Recovery Working Group. This was announced by Chief Secretary Ansel Dennis on Wednesday, 3rd June. The member of the group received the instrument of appointment at a short ceremony held at the Division of Tourism, Culture and Transportation earlier today. The Chief Secretary first meeting with the group, he was updated on the progress made ahead of the first submission deadline in approximately 4 weeks. The Roadmap to Recovery Working Group is tasked with identifying, specifying actions and policy measures the THA can take to ensure the best chance of recovery for Tobago post-COVID-19. Not bad. Now Tobago is a small island, about 40,000 people, somewhere around there. So they could afford to manage Tobago. It's small. It's like a handful of people compared to Trinidad. So while they are doing that in Tobago now, Minority Leader for the Tobago House of Assembly, Watson Duke, has described the 2020 to 2021 Tobago fiscal package as a compound bad judgment. This is what the Minority Leader of Tobago is saying, Mr. Watson Duke. The THA is requesting a 4.71 billion allocation from the central bank government to manage Tobago affairs over the next fiscal year. Duke said the budget arithmetic is fundamentally skewed Because revenue does not match expenditure, and that will be a problem. If revenue does not meet expenditure, that is a problem right there. Duke is also the progressive, democratic, patriotic political leader, said the budget was not properly thought out. Duke also regarded the budget as a summary of initiatives that were announced since 2001. On Monday, Secretary of Finance and Economy, Joel Jack presented the budget to the Assembly. So Duke is seeking a $1.71 billion from the central bank for the 2020-2021 budget. The largest chunk being possessed for the Division of Health, Wellness, and Family Development. Now listen to this, this is where it gets interesting. The THA requesting the division, headed by Tracy Davison Celestine, received $801.7 million to continue its fight against COVID-19. Look how many money. $801.7 million to continue its fight against COVID-19. I wonder how many people in Tobago received a salary relief grant, or how many persons in Tobago received a rental assistance grant. That is yet to see. So if you're from Tobago and you received a grant, call in. Let's hear what you have to say, because we are dealing with the issues that is facing us in Trinidad and Tobago. Hey, we have some serious issues in this country, you know. And if we do not attend to this issue, in Trinidad, we could end up in problems. Because the finance minister wants companies to pay their taxes. He is saying that the taxes help run the country, and if they do not get the taxes, they cannot pay. Listen carefully, you know. Listen carefully. He is saying to the business sector in Trinidad and Tobago, you have to pay your taxes. And if you do not pay your taxes, we would not have money. We would not have money to pay salary relief grants. You think about that. If you do not pay your taxes, we, the government, would not have money to pay salary relief grants. So my thing is now, where did the 20 billion go? Where did it go? Did it go only in health? Because remember when I was telling you, all the health ministers say they paid something between $100,000 to $200,000 for a medication? Cola, good night.
Hello, good night.
Go right ahead.
I'm from Tobago, and yes, I haven't collected any of these self-employed grant nor the rental grant yet.
Nothing?
I'm on the verge of getting thrown out.
Wow. And what part of Tobago you're from?
Buku Road.
Buku?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for highlighting the matter, my dear.
Thanks.
See viewers? $801.7 million, and a caller called in from Tobago and said she haven't even received a salary grant or even a rental assistance grant. Just imagine that. So where all the money gone? Where the money goes? The minister boasting that they have X amount of dollars. But now they come out and telling the citizens now, the business owners now, if you do not pay your tax, we wouldn't have money to pay salary relief grant. So the money that was allocated from the beginning, where did that money go? Where did that money go? Now you're telling businessmen, if they may pay, all they don't have. Come now, man. It's not little children you're dealing with. It's business people you're dealing with. Sad to know this is coming from all here. So where did all the money go? Where? Could somebody say where the money went? One of them say 48 million. They spent thus far. Listen to this, eh? A lady called me today. She was supposed to get 2,900 in, I believe it's rental assistance. She got, the first 2 checks she got was a 1,500 check by, I believe is about 600. Two checks she got. She called me today. She said, Saieed, I am so and so. Remember, I send you the 2 photos of the check she got. I said, yes. You know how much she got today? A $500 check. A $500 check to pay a rent. Caller, good night.
Hello, good night.
Go right ahead.
Calling from Aruca, from Sinan Rental.
Okay.
Yes. Rental assistance grant.
Yes.
Yes, we had applied since March and haven't get anything as yet either.
Okay. Thank you, my dear, for highlighting your matter. So you see, there are people out there who still haven't received it. But you're telling the public you're spending X amount of dollars and you're not showing where the money going. We spend this amount in relief grant. We spend that amount in health. We spend this amount in food. You're coming out and you're saying it on TV. But people are having problems because throughout Trinidad and Tobago, people are complaining that they're not getting. So exactly where is it going? We know election is coming up just now. Caller, good night.
Hello, good night.
Go right ahead.
Hi, I'm calling from San Juan. I'm actually concerned about the sour market right now because the Prime Minister has reopened the country and sour market has still been closed for 3 days out of a 7-day week.
Okay. So it's 3 days that you're working for 7 days?
We're working from Thursday until Sunday. And then, of course, hours cut as well, which is okay. But we want to work every day. We're trying to figure out what's happening.
I understand.
Yes.
Thank you for highlighting the matter there. So that's 2 persons from the sour market. 2 persons. Now, viewers, this program is where you could call in and highlight your concerns, voice your complaint. And like I said, there are people in authority that looks at Real Talk because they want to hear what the people in the ground are saying. They want to know what is going on in the ground. Even though they're up in authority, they want to hear what's going on in the ground. And the only way they can hear that is through Real Talk. Hence the reason why we became the #1 current affairs program in Trinidad and Tobago, because we deal with the issues. And we allow the people to call in and voice your concern. Voice what area you're from and what is the problem in your area. That is what I made available to you, the public. And thankfully, we do get calls from Grenada, Barbados, Jamaica, up the islands, the US. We do get calls and you all hear it. So you can't say, well, you know, Saieed saying he got a call from Barbados. The caller is identify where they're calling from. Caller, good night. Hello?
Yes, Saieed. Good night.
Good night. Go right ahead.
Saieed, you know which part the money gone to hell and back with these people? I call it from Tobago. To hell and back the money gone.
All right, caller, did you apply for rental assistance? Or
Saieed, I can't even get my welfare. They take it away from me, so I can't apply for that. So I just struggle inside.
Stop it. Oh. Thank you, caller. So viewers, we have people We have people who will be calling in, and sometimes according to the problem they highlight, I tell them, I say, well, call me tomorrow, and I will try to see if I get assistance for them. There's a lot of people that we try to assist on a daily basis. A lot of people. That is why I just tell you, call in. Voice your concern. Because I know there are people up on top listening. I know that for a fact. Caller, good night.
Yes, good night, Mr. Said.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, I'm calling from south side, your side. Well, I applied for the relief grant, and up to now they tell me to say pending.
Pending?
Yeah. But yeah, I tell them I say the only grant I need is Uncle Grant because...
Thank you, my friend. So there's so many people go through problems in Trinidad. And sometimes I just be wondering, is social development functional in Trinidad and Tobago? Now, Camille Robinson-Regis said at one point in time is that there were fraud. There were fraud for rental assistance and salary grant. Okay. You identified that it was a fraud. But how many people were locked up for that fraud? How many people did you all made a report to the police or the fraud squad and tell them, hey, this is a fraudulent matter. Deal with it. Because if they're trying to take money from the government and you, that department, realize that it is a fraud, make a report to fraud squad, let them go by the individuals and pick them up. Because apparently you want to extort money from the government under false pretense, and that is a fraud. So how many people have been locked up for that fraud that all the ministry is saying to the public? And that is a valid point. Because they're complaining, or in the media briefing, or in press, that many people, they're committing a fraud by trying to extort money from the government. All you identify it is a fraud. But have you all made reports to fraud squad? Have you all sent documents to fraud squad? So fraud squad would go and pick up these individuals and charge them for fraud? Did you all do that? Because I have listened. I've been listening. And we have heard nothing like that. All they're saying is fraud. The ministry is saying is fraud. But the fraud squad picking up the matter and going by the individual? If the ministry identifies fraud, how come the individual is not being arrested? How come fraud squad is not saying anything? How come fraud squad is not keeping a media briefing and letting them know, well, hey, the ministry said 19 people committed a fraud by documents, and we are picking up the matter. How come they're not doing that? How come? So is it a cover-up on one side? I don't know. We don't know because we ain't hearing anybody get locked up for fraud. Because of extorting money on a false pretense from the Social Development Ministry under the rental assistance grant or the salary grant. We ain't hearing nothing. I tell you, I just be up to date, you know. That is why I could bring the news and bring the facts to you, the citizens. How come nobody ain't get locked up? Someone might say, oh, Saeed talking. But if the ministry identifies fraud, let the police step in. Let us know John Doe from down south, deep south somewhere, was arrested in connection with a fraud, false claim. Let's talk now. Let's talk now. Call good night.
Good night, sir.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, calling from Union Village, Rio Claro.
Union in Rio Claro. Go right ahead, sir.
Yes, since last 6 years, they have no water here. No pipeline water at all.
How long?
I know. Yeah, since last week Thursday.
Thursday, about a week now then, no pipeline water in Union Rio Claro. Thank you, sir.
Friday, we have to build the water from the river.
Wow. Just make sure and boil the water before you drink it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, my friend. So, after the false application, listen this now. Let's imagine fraud in the ministry and nobody get locked up. Eh? Nobody get locked up. It's sweep under the carpet. Or we don't know if they're just giving us that to hold. It's something I highlighting. So listen this. Member for Parliament of Oropuch West, Vidya Gayadin Gopi Singh, is urging the government to help dairy and coconut farmers, among others. This was unimpressed with recent news photos of the Prime Minister picture with livestock at a farm in Aripo. Gayadin Gopi Singh said the Aripo farm visited by Dr. Rowley was initially a research facility under the Ministry of Agriculture. So did he visit the farmers? No. He visited a research facility under the Ministry of Agriculture. You didn't went down to the farmers in the farmers' field. You didn't do that. Whose entire stocks of equipment, plants, building, livestock, and pens were all given freely to a private entity. Ooh, somebody get an IS bus. Somebody get an IS bus. Gayadin Gopi Singh queried, Rowley's boast of doubling dairy production has been out of touch. She said dairy farmers are close to abandoning their fields owing to the highest cost of feed, labor, and veterinary visit, plus the very low price their milk was bought for by commercial sector. So apparently he didn't go down to the real farmers and them who mining livestock. He went down to a facility. Now there is a difference going down to a facility and going down to the real livestock farmers. You will hear two different stories. Caller, good night.
Hi, good night.
Go right ahead.
Calling concerning what the salary grant and the food
Yes.
grant. I am one of the porters who work at the Iaco International Airport. And we is non-paid workers. There's only when a passenger come out, that's how we get paid. Since on the 20th of March, the airport closed off. And since on the 6th of April, I sent in all my documents. And up till now, nothing.
Okay. Thank you, my friend, for highlighting the matter. I know somebody's in authority is listening. Somebody is listening. That is why I'm telling her to call in and voice your concern. So we could be able to highlight it. We could be able to push it that you, the citizens, could get something in return. Election coming up. Election coming up. Around the corner. But when is the date? When is the date? Caller, good night.
Very good evening to you, Mr. Said.
To you, my friend.
Being as you touch on the topic, I just want to add a few more points. General Earth Removers Limited is the owner of Maralisa Farms. Now, that lease is, the acreage is 1,200 and something acres. Now, the concern with the opposition is, if eventually they would start to mine the aggregate that is on that land, because it is rich in aggregate, so they can't be leasing the farm for farm purposes and then start to interfere with the aggregate. So the opposition want to see this in the lease, which the government is not forthcoming with. The owner of that operation there, General Road Removers Maralisa Farms, is a very well-known friend of the Prime Minister and a financier of the PNM. So this thing reeks of anything you could think about. All the best.
Thank you, my friend. Now, I want you, the viewers, to listen and understand what took place there. Before anybody jump to conclusions, the caller, when he called in, he identified who the owner of the farms were. Because listen this clearly. Gayadeen Gopi Singh said the Aripo farm visited by Dr. Rowley was initially a research facility under the Ministry of Agriculture whose entire stocks of equipment, plants, building, livestock and pen were all given freely to a private sector entity. So what the caller did, the caller called the name of the person who owns the farm or who the farm was given to. So he did nothing wrong there. Nothing wrong. And that is news for you, the citizen of Trinidad. Because there's also a big farm in, I believe it's in Penal. I believe that company owned as well. But we're not going there. We're sticking to this. So he didn't say anything wrong. You know, first thing you have, well, oh God, I will contact my lawyer and I will send Saieed a letter and we will take him to court for defamation. It had no defamation there. It had no lawsuit coming there. It had no lawyer want to jump on and put on his slick shoes and come to side with a letter. No, it had that day. Batten all your crease. Ms. Gayadeen highlighted it was all given freely to a private sector. The caller called and said who the individuals were. So there's nothing to send lawsuit and fight against in court with. I'll let you know one time. Caller, good night.
Caller, hello, good night, Saieed.
Yes, my dear.
You have a very lovely program. I like how you highlight current affairs. This situation with the farm, they didn't sell the farm to the person, they just give it to him.
According to Ms. Gayadeen, yes.
Okay, then, well, then that is fraud still, anyhow you take it. Because the Prime Minister led people to believe he went to a farmer, not a former government institution owned farm. So that is still misleading the public.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you, my dear. So you see how the thing is? That's what I said just now. That is what I said just now. He didn't go down to the farmer. He didn't go down to the farmer. According to Ms. Gayadeen, it was a research facility. And it was under the Ministry of Agriculture. So it's news to you all. If you didn't know, now you know. Like this thing not working out, boy. It's not working out. It's real talk all I get in, you know. It's real talk. Caller, good night.
Hello, good night.
Go right ahead.
This is from Mr. Dial Singh. Don't feel because I got a house down there, I'm going to vote for you. No? I see you was jolly, putting up your thumbs up. But my vote at all. And plenty others.
That's a riddle? Oh, the man come up with a little rhythm section right there. All you're missing is a little rhythm beat. So if you was listening to this now, touching on a little crime, because they do exist in Trinidad. The Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard on Tuesday morning intercepted a vessel and seized packages of a plant-like substance. According to a statement on Tuesday around 2:15 a.m., while conducting border security patrols, the Coast Guard officials intercepted a vessel in the Gulf of Paria. There were 2 foreign nationals on board the vessel. Search of the vessel revealed that 14 package which contains a green plant-like substance and weighed approximately 14.3 kilograms. That's almost 30 pounds. The vessel, its contents and the persons were handed over to the TTPS, Custom and Excise Division and Immigration Division. Caller, good night.
Yeah, good night, Said.
My friend, go right ahead.
Said, why the Minister of Agriculture and government to come and visit all the agricultural farm in Trinidad and Tobago? Come and visit them. visit the livestock, visit their poultry farm, visit everything.
True.
So they know how it run and how they run into a loss. So that way they can't pay ADB loan because they run into a loss.
I understand.
It's taking up a variety of time. And the days going and the months going, and you can't make up your installment because you have no stock. Getting no stock. How you go pay your installment to ADB bank? Why don't you come and check the farmers?
True.
They are coming to do the real thing they are coming to do.
Hey, talking about that. Thank you, caller. Rice farmers in Trinidad and Tobago. Hear this, eh? Well, hear this, eh? Now, I believe is that the agriculture minister supposed to make arrangement with the ADB bank. With the ADB bank. Now, hear how this goes. A couple of rice farmers visited me, right? The government had an arrangement with the flour mills who also packages rice to sell. So the rice farmers would supply National Flour Mill with the rice. And the government would pay the farmers. So some rice farmers visited me, right? And they said, Saeed, when we supply National Flour Mill with the rice for them to package and distribute out, the government has an arrangement with them to pay the farmers. But apparently, since last year, the government did not pay the farmers. And here what is happening. The government now, I believe it's the agriculture sector, they say, supposed to go to the ADB bank and have a discussion with the ADB bank concerning loans and interest. So that the ADB bank now would have a little leniency on the rice farmers. But apparently, loans and interest have not been cut on behalf of the rice farmers and them. And some of the rice farmers now, they are in great debt and loss now. Because if the ADB bank is not getting their payments from rice farmers, the ADB will move in and seize machinery, equipment, land, house, whatever it is they mortgage for a loan. The ADB now will seize that. Because I believe it's the agriculture sector failed to have a meeting with the ADB bank to cut down on loans and interest. I told a couple of farmers, I said, go to the ADB bank and find out if your interest running. They said, yes, Saeed. It took them about 2 or 3 days to sort out everything. And he called, he said, Saeed, the interest is still running from last year to presently. And some of the farmers have not been paid for their rice product for over a year. So how the farmers now are going to face the ADB bank if the ministers doesn't get in, which they said they would. So that is a real issue and that is a topic because rice farmers will now lose their farm, their land and even their house. Courtesy, the minister who's supposed to go in and talk with the agriculture board. Courtesy the minister, that is going to happen. Caller, good night.
Night, Mr. Saeed.
Go right ahead.
Your partner from up in the east way. Yeah, I want to touch on the Tobago issue.
Okay.
$4.7 billion was the budgeted. But as I repeat, because apparently last year they did the same thing, $4.7 billion for 50,000 people. The constituency I remand should go on as cross the amount of people living in Tobago already.
Thank you.
Right. What is the physical structure they put in Tobago, they bill in Tobago to force that amount of money for the budget that they asked? Tobago have any big infrastructure work going on right now?
No.
Right, so what they ask where the money goes. Tobago House of Assembly needs to answer for what the money that for the past 5 years they getting, what's it doing with it. The airport run down, it have no 5-star hotel in Tobago. Tobago have nothing really generating money. They said that they wanted the hoteliers in them to get there to repair the building. Some of them did the repairs. When they asked for the money, they tell them they can't give them the money because they didn't tell them to repair the place. The money finished. 1,500 people in Tobago receive rent allowance and food allowance or something they was given them for the COVID.
Thank you, my friend. So you see, viewers, these are issues that people are facing in Trinidad and in Tobago, such as the rice farmer. But nevertheless, tomorrow is another night. We will meet again tomorrow night. We are almost out of time. We have about 2 minutes left for tonight. But before we go, viewers, let me just remind you, we are keeping a drive to raise $10 million to build a rape crisis center that will house rape victims in Trinidad. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I have already provided the land. All I need is the business sector to come together, with Saieed Ali. That's all we need, We need people to come out and support, Saieed, hold at 10,000. We need the ministries, social development, they'll come get in contact with me. Don't try and steal my plan because I'll stink up all year. Because 5 years I'm in government and all year, no progress. I live in Trinidad, I see in, I'm not blind. I'm not. So, I'll get in touch. The big ministries, millions flowing. Donate a little something for the drive. We have the Women's League. This is for the women of Trinidad and Tobago. Donate a little million, a little 2 million. It's for a cause. The money is going in no pocket. And my wife is not a minister. So in case something raised now, she ain't had to stand up. Or me ain't had to stand up. It's for a cause. All come together. We run out of time for tonight. But let me tell you something. I have something in store from the Army for you tomorrow night. I want to know how rocket is run. Tune in tomorrow night for Real Talk. And I'm going to see something. Viewers, we are out of time for tonight. I am keeping a drive for a cause. What I just said in Urdu is that I am keeping a drive for a cause. Please contribute. Not for pocket. La Santa ba illa zarina ko al yarana, but for a victim of rape. So until we meet again, viewers, yes, I will run tomorrow at 11 a.m. Be safe and enjoy the night. Good night.